Hey guys, hey, can you hear me? Hello. Perfect. Hello guys, welcome in today's stream. Oh, I need to change the setting, how to do it. And why my camera isn't working? Oh, I know why. We got it. Yeah. Hey Jim. Let me set the camera better. Oh, okay, I fixed. So I'm a little bit. I got a little bit of cold. Don't mind it, please. Today we are painting a Warhammer Doge. This is the one from one of the Cities of Sigmar boxes, and I'm basically trying to set things up because I left for the weekend and I thought that I'm not going back till like Wednesday. So I didn't set up my lamps, for example, so I was trying to make it quick. I have a tuft painting question. How you paint tufts without getting all the big stuff together with paint? Painting tufts is the one of the things I like to do, to paint with an airbrush actually. So I try to either tint it with airbrush, for example with washes from GW. So I just put washes from GW into my airbrush and just airbrush it over the tufts to tint them. I think that I did it on the stream with the Arcane Wanderer bust. Or I try to float the tufts with the wash to paint it. So I don't paint them with the paint. I try to tint them with the washes, and then I use thicker paint only to airbrush from the top to highlight it, for example. So usually washes tint them just enough, bring, for example, like if I use 5 colors of tufts on one base or on one anything, and they doesn't match together. When I wash them, they like come together into one tone, and then I like to highlight them by dry brushing. But some tufts, like it depends on the company. Some tufts, when you float them with washes, like make them wet, they just come together, as you said, and they just stick together because the gluing layer is not very thick there. So some washes may break the tufts. So try to add the wash to the base of the tuft, because I try to just push the wash with the brush into the middle of the tuft, but don't overdo it because it may break up the tufts. Tufts from Forge something. It's a Polish company. They break up easily, for example, but they are very good. So sometimes I have to, work around it. Also, I personally think that sometimes when you see the change of texture, you think that something gets broken, but actually, if you will be if you continue to work on those broken tufts and let them dry, and maybe if they become a little bit clumpy, with painting you can fix them somehow. They will be a little bit different, but it doesn't mean that they are completely broken. You have to basically, try out a few times how the tufts you are working with are reacting, with the wash, and then try to make it work. Give me a second, guys. I need to change my wallpaper because I'm using wallpaper engine from Steam, and it's very cool. It lets me to set like animated wallpapers, but the wallpaper I set recently, okay, it's fixed. I set it recently. It's like a wallpaper from World of Warcraft. I can show it to you. It's pretty cool because it's animated, but the issue is that it got sound, and I think that it was you could hear it on the stream, so I had to quickly turn it off. So we are painting a Doge today. Let's get back into the Doge. What does the Doge say, guys? What do you think? So I will just try to paint the Doge. I will try to make it quick because I don't want to spend too much time on it. Also, I want it to be pleasant for me, so I want to overdo it. And also, I don't have that much time today for streaming because I have to travel today to my tax lady administrator, or I don't know how to call it, and I need to prepare for the serious talk. So I have to print some stuff, etc. before I go to sleep. So I will try to stream till midnight, so only 2 hours today. Sorry about that. Yeah, and on Thursday, I'm not sure if I will be painting or I will do a feedback stream. How much feedback do we have? Not that much. Okay, so I think that I will do a normal painting stream without any craziness. Let me just take a photo and post it on Instagram, because I want to start posting on my Instagram again. And yeah, we can start painting. What color do you think would fit the Doge? I'm not sure. I think that like purple or purple red would be great, but I cannot decide. I was thinking about it a lot and I just can't decide. Okay, let me do a nice setting for the bust painting Thursday. I may paint a bust. My boyfriend recently finally launched our 3D printer, so I will have a bust for basically painting printed out, and it's a stork from Pepunki Creations, and this is a like Pepunki Creations makes very nice animal characters. She made a bust of a stork that is basically meant to support Ukraine, and I really wanted to paint it. And then the painted bust, I will try to sell it, and if a collector will buy it, I will donate. I think that whole income to the Ukraine, like not Ukraine but Red Cross or Polish Humanitarian Action. I think that it's translated like that. So it's Polska Akcja Humanitarna, and it's a organization that gives like humanitarian help to different nephrologic, people, like different like situations all around the world and in our country, stuff like that, and they are helping Ukraine as well. So I would like to do it, and I hope that it will work out. Just let me do a quick post on Instagram. Okay, got it. And I just need to add painting Warhammer hashtag. Sure, done. Okay, good. Hey Pascal. I'm just about to start painting. I hope that the varnish. Okay, the varnish, not varnish, but the base paint broke a little bit. I hope that it will work out just fine, but it's not perfect. Like, I'm not sure if you can see it, but over here it got a little bit cracked. I think that it won't be very visible under the paint, and I hope that it will settle a little bit. But because of it's very cold in Poland right now, and I hope that the varnishing will go well on my staircase outside my apartment, but it didn't. It was cold anyway. Okay, so the color, what do you think? Like, for this guy, I started painting him. There are videos on Patreon if you want to check them out. And so I I like the reddish purple on this guy, and maybe this dog could be his dog. He's actually, the dog is pretty big, right? I was impressed with the size. Or I could make him violet. Cold here. What temperatures do you have? Do you have snow? Because we have snow, and I'm on the one hand I'm pretty happy about that, and on the other hand, it's cold, and it's very cold, and I not necessarily perfectly like it. Okay, now it's better. Turquoise. We could do a turquoise, and I think that it would be pretty cool. I could highlight it with yellow. So we will go for turquoise and shade it with darker blues/violet. So yeah, I will do it. Thanks, gray. It's very cool color. I like to use it. It doesn't fit in most of my palettes, but I will try to make it work. Pascal, do you hate turquoise or do you hate cold weather? Because there is the difference. It's a big difference over here. Okay, we will need something pink for his tongue / inside of his mouth. Okay, so we had turquoise. We have So I will just start putting the stuff on my wet palette, and we will see how it looks. You hate cold weather and you love turquoise, yeah. Create a turquoise with basic colors. Oh my god, I don't do it. I will be honest, like, I respect people who paint with, with the colors from the start, but I am not a mixer. So I won't do it right now. I think that I could do it, but it demands a little bit of creativity and work on my side, and I want today's stream to be quick and not overbearing for me, because I basically have no energy for trying today. My neighbor's child was crying for most of the afternoon, and I just have, enough. So I want to spend a nice time without trying too much, and we are painting. Oh, I will use this color, which is pretty cool, pistachio from AK. I like to highlight with it recently, so I will highlight with it today. Okay, I don't want this pink, I would like to have magenta. Magenta or purple? Magenta. Do you paint with like mixing from basic colors? John? Okay, those colors look cool together, right? It may be a success. Also, I wrote it on my stream. Like, I wrote about it on my stream. But I will have workshops in a few places during this year. And I don't think that any of them are sold out yet because I didn't announce them. But if you live in or in proximity of like Netherlands, London, and what more? Brazil, and I think that West Coast US, East Coast US. Either I am organizing or I may organize workshops / private coachings. If you are interested, drop me a DM on Discord or just write me an email. It's somewhere on my Instagram or on Facebook, I think. And I think that it may be somewhere on Twitch. Yeah, so I will have like 3 spots. Oh, and in Copenhagen, yeah. In Copenhagen, I have 2 free spots, and London I will announce in the coming days, basically. I sometimes paint with only basic CMYK and black and white just to enhance the mixing skills. Pascal says. Sometimes for experimenting different tones. Yeah, I like to do it sometimes, but it requires it's a learning curve for me, so I don't always do it. Where are my brushes? This is a very important question. Kitty. Okay. But like you, I need to energy to do it. Yep. Sometimes I just want to start paint onto something. Yeah, everyone have his own I don't know, painting ways, and I know that using the modeling paints is not like the usual artistic way, but painting with the miniatures is very I know how to say it, special kind of art. Oh, and I need brown for non-metallic metal. So wait a second, sorry guys for prolonging everything. So I just learned to paint on premixed paints, with premixed paints, and in theory I can mix, but it requires more effort from me. And also modeling paints are not like the usual pure pigments, so it's harder. It's either hard to mix them or work around it, or work around their properties. So I just I don't want to reinvent the wheel, the painting wheel for myself. And maybe I will do it someday. I know that I practice the ability to mix, but I don't like to do it very often. Where is my brown? Okay, the brown I may need to mix actually, because I cannot find it. Okay, this is the issue for later, maybe. It should be somewhere here. Damn it. Oh, and also this color is, oh no, it's pistachio. Okay, I thought that I found the other one, but they have very similar color to pistachio. I don't remember the name, and it's very cool for highlights as well. I wanted to have this simple painting pleasure today, and it's not going in the direction I anticipated. Cyan, yellow, magenta, and black. Yeah, I know, but this is one of the stuff that I know what it is when I look at the writing, at the text, and I have no idea how to pronounce it in English. So I was thinking how to work around it. I enjoy very much with that exercises, mixing and discovering new tones and variations. Yep. Okay. So we have a lot of black on this one. I will maybe start with painting a little bit of his insides of his mouth. I will make it just pink. It will require, or it's actually not that visible. Kitty, please don't be a destroyer today. Maybe a little bit of, oh yeah, this is a better color. Let's paint Natalia. Yeah. Sorry for making it so long, like the start of the painting process. I honestly didn't prepare today evening for painting because I was putting together frames for some artworks I want to hang in my kitchen, and like maybe not kitchen but like in the dining room, which is the kitchen, but we have very big kitchens, and you know, it's like different spaces in one room basically. And I started putting together the frames, and like kinda like the time just flew by, and it was like 9:40 when I found out that it's so late and I have to stream. I'm gonna walk the dog and then go to bed. Cheers. Hey Pascal, thank you for coming by. So I kinda was unprepared, and I had to, you know, set up the lamps, stuff like that, because I took them away. Okay, turquoise. I ordered the Bretonia Knight on a Pegasus, and I'm pretty hyped up for painting it. But of course I need to wait for it, because it was pre-order. Okay, how much? It's not that much brown. Okay, I hope that it will be more brown when I mix those two paints together. Slightly too desaturated for me, so maybe I will, like the brown, I want it to be the base for my non-metallic metal, so I'm adding this over here. It's sienna, and I need this. For the highlights. And it's Sahara Yellow from Sky 75. Yeah, and I think that it's enough. How should I call the dog, the doggo? What do you think? In Poland, the standard names for the dog is Misiu and Puszek, which means a bear and a fluffy, basically. But they don't they don't fit this one, I think. Fido. Why Fido? I love this card so much. Oh my god, it's so like, I don't know, so strange in a way. When I was younger, I had a dog and his name was Puffy. And honestly, I don't remember why exactly Puffy. I remember that he was called after one of my plushies, but and the plushie was dog, but I have no idea why I called the plushie Poofy. There was some reasoning, I just don't remember anymore. Fido was an Italian dog that came to public attention in 1943 because of his demonstration of unwavering loyalty to his dead master. Ooh, okay, Fido is okay, so his name is Fido. Very cool name. I think that there was a similar story from Japan, I just don't remember the name, where the dog was waiting for his master that died, the owner that died and didn't come home, I think. And the dog was every day he was I think waiting for him to come from the train. And after the owner died, the dog kept waiting anyway. I'm not sure if I got it right, but I think that it was something like Hachiku. Very cute. So this one is Fido, and if I will paint another one, his name would be Hachiku. Fido went to the bus stop every day for 14 years to wait. On the one hand, I love the fact that he was so they had so good relation, but oh my god, it's so sad that he was waiting for him. It's just heartbreaking for me. I recently learned that there is this kind of mourning, crying after the loss, is premature mourning. It's basically when you are afraid of something and you feel the sadness for a loss which will happen in the future. And I remember that when I was a child, and to a very big degree I still have it. When I was a child, I was basically crying after my hamster because I knew that he will die and I loved him so much, and I was kinda crying because he will die pretty soon, because hamsters don't live very long. And it's just for me, everything that is very happy bears a little bit of sadness in it, because I know that it will end someday. And I have something similar with my doggo. And I got the dog when I was a child, so it was intense then. I started loving this little puppy so much, and I couldn't bear it basically. Yeah, it is. I actually some time ago I learned that this is this little branch of psychology, because you usually think about mourning, a legit mourn is after some close person dying, but it's actually normal that people mourn after their pets, because it's so big part of their everyday life, and it's totally legit for people to get depression, stuff like that, after parting with their pets. But I kind of didn't consider it that much, because before, because not that many people actually talk about it, and when you grow up you actually know that mourning after human beings is legit and very serious, but I don't know, I just discovered that this is so big part of human life not that long ago actually. You know, like I knew that everyone is mourning after the pets and it's normal, but I didn't know that people can get depression, for example. Like, you know, as I wasn't conscious about it. So anyway, about the animal depression, last year I adopted, like I was fostering 3 little cats, 3 very small kittens, and they were very cute, and one of them I kept with me, and his name is Loki, and the small black one. And I actually miss caring for kittens, and I would really like to become a foster someday for like those small kittens, and maybe even get like the incubator to care for those really little ones that are premature or just, you know, were very small and lost their mom just after their birth and stuff like that. But I need to wait a little bit because my cats right now doesn't go too well together, so I need to set them to work together before getting any more cats. And it's, you know, kinda, I feel this need to foster kittens, but I cannot right now. And also, like, my neighbors' kids are like extra bugging me, because when they cry, I actually think, like, hear a crying kitten, because human child crying and kitten meowing is very similar, and it bugs me because I don't know, I think that my instinct as a carer is stronger than my maternity instinct, and, you know, the child crying doesn't trigger in me the response of, oh my god, I have to help this child. It triggers in me the response, okay, there is a kitten in need and I need to find it. We had a Guinea pig die last week. They actually really cute and clever. Yeah, I know, and they are so small, and, you know, I don't know, like, you care and you bond with the being very strongly, and then it kinda lives not long enough, and it's very, very sad. So my condolences for your loss. I hope that the Guinea pig had a good life with you. Hello, hey Minimancer. What's up, Minimancer? We are not talking about, hey Didi. We are not talking about competitions today, but we started talking about pet dying, so it's kind of depressing as well today. Hey, thank you for ride. I'm painting a Warhammer Doge today. The chat decided that it needs to be turquoise, so it's turquoise. And I will do, or I will at least try to do a cool lime highlights. Hey Goldfinch. Not a pet, but my Vortex mixer died yesterday. Oh no. So you have the opportunity to buy a new one, right? There's the upside and the downside to this situation. Thank you for the follows. Yeah, I'm just painting a Warhammer Doge from Cities of Sigmar, and we decided to call him Fido after a Italian or Spanish Italian dog that was very faithful to his owner. And I decided that if I will ever paint another one of those, I will call him Ichiban, right? No, Hachiku. Ichiban, the Friends, Joey from Friends, is like Ichibaning my mind. I will call the other dog Hachiku in the name of like the other very faithful dog, and this one was from Japan. And it's like I don't know, he's pretty much a meme, like this dog, medieval meme, because I don't know, he reminds me a lot of different like medieval illuminations, like those illustrations from books. They were, on the one hand they look cool, and on the other hand they were pretty cringe in some instances. And I don't know, I have very big vibe for this stuff right now, and I just love this guy. And when I saw him on the box, because he comes in like the bigger box from different Cities of Sigmar miniatures, I just really wanted to paint him. So here he is. But medieval animal faces, yeah, exactly. There is a calendar for 2024, and they took pictures of medieval cats, or in general Jesus Christ again, bad cat art. So different bad cat faces from different art styles, and there are cats from medieval illuminations as well. Hey Travis, thank you for coming to my stream. We are painting Warhammer Doge, and he is turquoise. And I'm painting with sketching method, so it's basically quickly trying to put the colors in the places they should be in the end, but I'm not trying to mix anything in the first place. I just want to put the idea on the miniature, and I will go back into blending later. Maybe not today on the stream, because I want to paint till like midnight, so I'm not sure if I will have time for blending, but I have time to sketch, and usually sketch looks good enough. So yeah, it looks like a gargoyle, yeah, right? A little bit, right? I think that you could actually paint him in like as a stone figure. I personally don't want to, but it could work like that. It's cool to watch. Sorry, this is cool. I want to sketch like this more, so it's cool to watch. I recommend this method. I do a lot of painting workshops actually, and usually people are very happy when they like with their 2-day painting effects. Because I encourage everyone to sketch, and because they sketch, like they place the idea on the miniature right away. After the 2 days of paint, they are very happy with what they achieved, because they just can see the end line somewhere on the horizon. So I think that this actually sketching is very motivating for people as well. So I always recommend it to everyone. And also sometimes just having the idea placed on the miniatures and seeing how the different colors work together is good enough, and you actually don't have to blend everything. So yeah, you can. I prefer to sketch everything and then decide how much I want it to be blended, and then spend as much time as I actually choose to spend on blending, and not blend as like this basic requirement. I need to learn to sketch better. Yeah, it honestly it makes painting, at least for me, kinda like in a way quicker. But I usually, when I paint for a commission, I usually like the expectation is a competition quality, so to have everything perfectly blended. So on the one hand, with the sketching I have a lot of fun, and I am able to place the idea right away on the miniature, but then blending everything out is like a, you know, it's very painful for me, and I don't enjoy it that much. But sketching, I recommend. It's very cool. It's very nice. Okay, I need white and black. Black is over here. I want GW to release the lady on the unicorn. So bad. Because I want to paint the unicorn. It's very cool. Also, speaking about medieval art, I just got a wood carving unicorn tattoo. I'm not sure if you can see it. You can see it like somehow. And I want a unicorn. I want to paint unicorn. GW, please release the unicorn. I'm not sure if there are that many Warhammer players over here, but I've heard that actually the rules for the old world are not that great. But I also think that people may get unnecessarily bad, because maybe future releases will fix them in a way and make it better. But this is just my uninformed decision, because I like to look on the bright side of life and hope that everything will be alright and everyone will be happy. Okay, so as you can see, I had the just like this brownish darker base, and I'm right now putting the lighter reflections / highlights on the miniature, and right away, like before I even started blending, I can just put some dots of colors and reflections on the miniature, and it will look shiny already. So usually there's no need to blend a lot if you're not going for this higher finish, for example, for competition or for your own satisfaction, for example. And sometimes just putting bright enough dots and keeping the contrast in place is enough to create like this this effect of shininess. I think it'll turn out okay with a few adjustments. I watched the recent battle report and it was a little clunky, but not terrible. Yeah, and I think that everything is a little bit clunky in the beginning, right? And then by fine-tuning and like additions to the rules, usually it gets better. so I hope that people will be happy with the game, and that we will see big growth of this new old system. I'm very hyped for the miniatures because I always liked the old world aesthetics, because I enjoy like those Landknecht inspirations, for example, and in general like this old like later medieval aesthetics. But I need the sculpts to be the newer ones, not the old one GW, and I'm very hyped up for them doing new additions and releasing some of the miniatures, maybe resculpting some of them, because I really wanted to paint some Bretonian Knights, stuff like that, but the previous sculpts were kinda too old for me in a way, like outdated slightly. Thank you for subscription. Yeah. What's your brush, please? This one. Okay, so this one is my favorite, and it's Rosemary and Co. Koliński series 33, and the size is 1. And this is my favorite kind of brushes. I'm in a pickle because I didn't order more. Oh, actually, I have affiliate link, but I always forget to put it anywhere. So I'll try to maybe dig it out and put it somewhere in the description on the Twitch or somewhere. And so those are my favorite, and I need to order more because like I had this whole stash of them and I finally run out of them. And my extra option, like, you know, when I run out of Rosemary's, I go for Raphael 8404 Koliński as well, and this is 0. As you can see, I got a bad Raphael because I didn't paint that much with him, and he's already splitting on the top. I need to keep the, oops, sorry for the bubbles, I need to keep the I need to reform the bristles all the time, again and again. And you can compare the brushes. So Raphael, this is 0, this is Rosemary 1. Rosemary is less thick, and like the end of the brush, I will try to make them even. The end of the brush is like kinda thicker, so the belly of the brush is a little bit thinner than Raphael actually, but the end is kinda thicker. And also, like, I found out that they have different, they put together the brushes in a slightly different way that makes them more durable, at least when I'm using them. And Raphael is just losing the tip quicker for me. So I prefer Rosemary's & Co. Because they are like basically more durable for me, and I also like that they are, you know, a little bit thinner, but not very thin, and I know they just work just fine for me. I found that Rosemary is actually putting like this one, you cannot see it right now, but when I paint a little bit longer with Rosemary, the end of the brush, with every brush basically, the end of Koliński they just kinda rub off, like the end slightly disintegrates because of the friction and stuff like that. And I think that Rosemary works better because they put this one little longer bristle, slightly like more to the top. And I think that this one bristle is kinda different kind of bristle in a way, like this is my theory of course, and that allows the rest of the Koliński bristles on the ends like to endure longer. And with Raphael, I find that the tip of the brush just, you know, disintegrates in like regular way, and at some point of painting just becomes shorter a little bit. Yeah, you're using one of those. Yeah, I agree. They are very, very good. Did you say you are going to Nova this year? By the way, I am going to try and go and have it be my first competition. Yeah, I want to go to Nova, and I think that it will happen actually. I may have some kind of workshop there. I don't know. I will know in the future. Honestly, I don't think that it will happen. But if you want me to have workshop there, you can spam the organizers, and maybe it will encourage them. But I will go with Awesome Creations, and I will probably have a shop over there, and I will participate. So yeah, and I want to stream from the competition. So if you want to, say hi and have a little chat with me, I think that it will be possible, but I am not sure. It's not confirmed yet. I think that when I will confirm it, I will let everyone know. Rosemary is for doing, basically. I'm building the 8404 right now. Both are great brushes. My series 33 sorry guys, finally made their way into the rough brush section after nearly 6 months of work. Yeah, they are very, very good. How long are you painting with the Raphaels right now? I'm curious about how durable they are when compared to Rosemary's for you, because every painter is a little bit different. Every painter paints with different intensity, and not everyone practice painting actually as much as other painters. So for everyone, the brushes may last like different spans of time, but also not every painter will like the same brushes. So for example, I really hate Da Vinci's and Da Vinci's, as one of my friends says. I really hate Da Vinci's brushes, but other painters like them, and Da Vinci is actually the preferred brush for them. And that's totally okay. It's totally alright. Everyone just needs to try different stuff and see what works for them. Roscoe does this. What is Roscoe? Sorry. Both size 0 Rosemary and Co, but it was so much tinier compared to my size 0 Raphael that it was too thin for my taste. Dries too fast. Probably should try a bigger one. Short for Rosemary and Co. Okay, Roscoe. Oh, I will use it actually. Very cool shortening. Shortcut. Yeah, I will try to remember it and use it. I will steal it basically. Yeah, you can see over here like how they compare, right? This is 0 Rosemary and this is 1 Raphael. So for some brushes you just need to go up because they are they are built differently and have different proportions. So Rosemary's, I think that the bigger size works better. So that's why I paint with ones. Honestly, because I paint with Raphael's zeros. If I didn't have the example from my friend who actually introduced me to Rosemary's, and I was to buy my first Rosemary, the Rosemary would be too small for me, and I may not go into the Rosemary's any further, but I actually could see from my friend how they work, how they look, and how they compare. So I knew to order up slightly. Hey Adam, nice to see you here. I'm painting a Warhammer Doge. I'm dumb and stipple with my 8404s because I'm too lazy to yeah, me too. Switching brushes is pointless, you never remember about it. At some point I tried to mark my brushes with the dots, and on some I even wrote the date where I started using them, but I never remember it and I always forget to change them. So when the brush stopped painting in a respectful way, it's just the sign to switch to a new one. But also because I'm a pro painter, I came to terms that one brush costs like this and this, and I just need to spend it to have quality painting. And I know that not everyone has the same approach, and it's totally legit, of course. It's funny because Rosemary and Co make the Da Vinci brushes for them. Oh, seriously? They are like totally different for me. I think that Da Vinci is like has this longer bristle, and it's totally unacceptable for me. The size difference is probably a clever strategy on Rosemary's part to make their brushes seem cheaper, since bigger are more expensive. It may be. I don't mind it. Like, I need to buy the like. Okay, it may be. But also, like, they have different structure. So if their construction of their brushes is meant to be thinner, and the length of the brush is the same as, or maybe not the same, slightly shorter. Okay, so I don't know, but every company differs a little bit, so I don't mind like this one size smaller or bigger issue. I have a cup full of different Rosemaries, but now I'm running Vallejo size 1. A few hairs fell out, but it's a goddamn good brush. Yeah, Da Vinci is Da Vinci. I had like at some point when I had to move, actually I found all of my old Rosemary's brushes, Rosemary's and Raphael's brushes, and like I took like this whole thick fistful of brushes, and like I knew that one brush is like 50 zlotys or more, and it was like hundreds of zlotys or even 1,000 maybe or more, and like I knew that everything is basically going to the dumpster because I wouldn't use it for like quality painting anyway, and it's like very, very strange. Kitty. The kitty is coming over here and he's obscuring the chat. Kitty, come. Hello, kitty. Very cute kitty. This is the one of the 3 kitties I was fostering last year, and they were complete chaos basically. Oh, it's not even last year, it was 2 years ago. Maybe that's why I'm missing little kittens, because it was so long ago. Da Vinci sends the specifications, so they are different, but Roscoe makes them. Okay, this is very interesting. Good to know. I still can buy Roscoe 33s in the USA. There was quite a big. I think that the one of the issue is like the zoning. So this is maybe they are not that spread on the US market. Thank you for the follow, Mankey. Maybe they are not that popularized on the USA market, but also there were shortages not that long ago of Polinsky bristle, and maybe that's why they didn't come back to the US, because there was just not enough product to be shipped over there. Ninja cats are the best. Yep, all the cats are the best. Yeah, a mug full of brush is default at least. Yeah. And they literally will not ship them to the US. We had the issue with Rosemary's and Co. before COVID, I think, or maybe even during the COVID, because they weren't shipping to Poland, and I had to ask my friend to ask his sister to buy us a bunch of Rosemary and Co. brushes and bring it to Poland, or ship it to Poland, because she's from the UK. Oh, seriously, you have a ban on animal hair in the US, or is it about like importing it? Lucky. Kitty, can you please move your sweet ass a little bit away from the monitor? Cat, please. Kitty, come here. He's doing it, like, intentionally. Love the colors of the doggo. I got into painting minis a month ago and working on an army of knights now. What is knit? Knights? No, not night elves. You are a prison right now. You brought it on yourself. Sorry, Kitty. Tyranids. Okay, I got it. No, not here. Over there, you can go over there. Okay. Good luck. I think that Tyranids may be a good army to start, because they are maybe, I know, not as demanding as, for example, like Kitty, please don't come again. He really wants the attention. Lucky. Because you can basically, like, they don't have that much like hard edges, stuff like that, so you can be more organic with the painting. This is what we see, but Rosemary and Co. is the only company that won't ship. I can get any other Kiliński, I think this is a good description actually. I'm waiting for some companies to come up with the very nice Kitty synthetic hair bristles, because I would really like the brushes be not made of dead animals. We can no longer ship Series 33 Koliński sable pointed rounds to the USA. The USA is the only country in the world who has a ban on importing this hair, and until the next worldwide meeting in Geneva, the ban remains in situ. We do have alternatives for you. Check out Red Sable, the red, and you know the Koliński. I think that is the main, like it's exported mainly by Russia, so maybe there's the point of, you know, inflammation in this issue. I decided to go with the red and black color scheme. Ooh, very classic and very stylish also. They look very bloody, I think. Funny how Rosemary can't, but Artist Opus can. Those are the same brushes. Do you think that, do you actually have the confirmed knowledge that Artist Opus is the same as Rosemary? Because I don't like Artist Opus, and I actually very like Rosemary very much, and I don't think that they are the same. But you know, maybe they are producing with the Artist Opus specification and not just repacking their product. so maybe that's why I don't like Artist Opus. Oh, it's Artist Opus. That's the same as Roscoe, not Da Vinci. Yeah, that makes more sense. You can order custom handles from Rosemary. Infernal Brush got his own. I don't know. If my miniature company will start well, I will ask Rosemary to do my brushes then. For now, I have just an affiliate code that I don't share with anyone because I always forget to do it. Roscoe makes the AO brushes to their specs. Okay, so the specs sucks, in my opinion. I was very like, I don't know, I saw them on, I think, SN Spiel, and I was kinda, I don't know, disillusioned about this company because I really didn't like the sizing and stuff like that. Or maybe Rosemary make Artist Opus, but they aren't the same. Yep. Or maybe it's still Rosemary but different hair, the unbound one. Maybe it is, you never know. Maybe it's Red Sable. We would have to check it. I just want to do it right now by myself. I'm wondering, how do you create the fade between the colors? Basically, how can I explain it in the easiest way? I work with the dabbing technique, so I blend with stippling with a like half opaque layers of paint. So I will maybe explain it. To control the consistency of the paint, you can paint a line, black line on your hand. So I'm starting with this knowledge, and it may be a longer like explanation, but you ask it, so you have to deal with it. First of all, the thickness of the paint is important, of course, and how do I control it? When I use my waters, Jesus Christ, my paints, I don't thin them out on my wet palette. Usually, the only amount of water my paints on the wet palette get is just dipping water from my deep brush. So I'm not putting like a lot of water on my brush. I just dip it in the water in the cup. Let me maybe show it. I just dip it slightly in the cup, like this, not much more. I try to not get any water over here. I basically dewater it. So I just try to paint out, or I don't know, put it on a paper towel, anything, to get rid of this extra water. And this is like, you know, when my brush is ready for dipping in my wet palette, it usually is almost dried off, but it leaves like this trail of water, so it's controlled, it's not overflowing my hand, my skin, for example. And this is the amount of water I put into my paints on my wet palette. So with this amount of water, I go into my paint and I just paint it slightly on the wet palette, and then I paint it off on my hand. And right now the consistency is like this. Sorry. So when I paint over the black line, you can see that over here it's bright, on the black it's kind of half opaque, and it stays on top of my skin texture. It doesn't float into the texture of the skin, and I will maybe demonstrate the flooding effect with a violet color. So when it's too much, you can see that it's staying inside the texture of the skin, not that much on top of it. So you can see like those little web of paint in the texture. So this is the texture I'm working with. So it's half opaque layers of paint. And when I want to create the blends, I go for the base color. In this case, this is turquoise, and then I create like this gradient of color. So this is my base color, and if I want to highlight it, I usually go for the gradient for with the base color in the middle, and then I create the gradient for the highlights. So this is my highlight color, and this is my, let's call it like first highlight. So to create this gradient, I just go like this on my wet palette, and I just mix those two colors together, and maybe mix them like this, and then like this over here, and I get this gradient for my highlights. And I like to use, I want to have like more neutral, the saturated highlights, so I will go with this over here. And then for the shadows, I will go for my violet, because I use violet to create shadows, so I'm adding violet, and do the mix in the other side. Something like that. And basically when I want to paint, I do the dipping, I dry the paint a little bit out, and everything I'm painting out on my skin. So you can see over here, like right now I have pretty good brush control, because I have a lot of experience with painting. So I'm not painting out that much, because I just know how to do it. I have the muscle memory, stuff like that. But I recommend just painting out everything. And I dip, I go for the highlight. So for example over here, I paint it out. The water in the brush after dipping, it always adds a little bit of wetness into the paint, even if the brush is not full of water. So you will always thin out your highlight color just so slightly. And then on the miniature, maybe I will go over here, I just go like this. Okay, so right now it's too thin, so I will just paint it out on my finger, and I will just go like this, dab dab dab. And when I am painting with a lighter color, I start over here, so closer to the darker color, and I drag the pigment slightly up with this like hook movement. So I start on the darker color and I finish higher, because in the place where I break the contact between the brush and the surface, in the place where the brush finish its movement and you lift it from the surface, you leave the most pigment there. So when I'm painting with the lighter color, I want the lighter color in a stronger way to stay on, like from the upper side of the miniature. So I do dots, but by doing the dot, I basically like do this movement. So even when I'm doing a dot, I'm kind of moving the pigment slightly, and I'm dotting with half transparent layers of paint. So you can see, and where I want the coverage of the color to be stronger, I just do more dots. And because I'm painting with a not very wet paint, and I'm doing thin layers of paint, I can like make the gradient faster, because the little dots are drying faster on the surface. And when I want the paint to go lighter, I just move higher on my gradient and then do the dots with a lighter paint. And this is the whole philosophy. The theory plus then a lot of practice makes my dotting look very quick and very easy. It's not that complicated, but you know, the beginner will have to hustle with it a little bit more just to become familiar with it. Opus suck. I don't want to exclude any of my potential sponsors, but I, in general, agree. You know, this code equals 3 brushes every few months. Yeah, I know, and this shows how money-oriented I am. I tried the AO brushes recently and didn't love them. They started to play after just a few sessions. So maybe, I know, you know, I have no idea how they are produced, but either they may have like lower quality or maybe the construction of the brush is not that good. Yeah, I like rosemary brushes because they are very high quality. Oh, thank you for the cheer. So okay, let me catch up with the chat. After you do the mix on the palette, do you rinse your brush and get new paint before applying to Mini? I sometimes do, I sometimes don't. So if I do the, you know, if I know that I want to highlight and I'm mixing the highlight color and I get, for example, a lot of paint on my hand, I'm just painting out the extra paint and then I'm painting without rinsing the brush again. But if I want to switch colors or if I want to create the whole gradient, so I need to mix the highlights and the shadows, I will rinse the paint before mixing I will rinse the paint from the highlight before jumping into the shadows because it will, you know, mix all of the colors together, and if I would mix green with violet, it will become saturated and muddy because those are complementary colors on the color wheel, so when you will mix them together they will saturate. Also, you create the gradient on the wet palette, and that way you can pick up the correct colors when you want to move to the next gradient. Yes, exactly, and I actually blend in the similar way. So I'm sketching the colors and stuff on the miniature without perfect blending. So for example, you can see like I got the nice values over here because it's contrasted. It kind of looks like it's shiny. I need to work on it more, of course, but this is like example of my sketching, and this is the vision of the end effect without the blending. If I want to get the blend, I basically recreate those mixes, and I just go and eliminate the unevenness of on the surface of the paint. So for example, I don't know, over here you can see that there is the primer visible from underneath, so I would go back and just increase the coverage of those colors over here, and maybe, you know, if I would have like this color and this color next to each other, I would try to recreate those colors, blend them together, and add maybe one more layer of blend in between those patches to blend them out. Because I don't blend with glazing, I blend with stippling stippling out the differences. So I call it dubbing technique, basically. Night, have a good stream. Thank you very much, Goldfinch Minis. I hope that I will see you again over here. Interesting, won't the brush you've mixed with have less water per amount of paint since it's so saturated with paint after mixing? I actually don't know. It has the enough amount of water for me, and you know, I think that the best answer for you would be just to try out, like for example here I didn't dry it off on my finger, because I dipped right now the brush into my water. You cannot see it, but I dipped it and it was pretty shallow, so I didn't dry it off before putting in my wet palette, and you can see right now it became too watery. So I would add a little bit of the highlight color wherever it was. Here it is. I will redo the gradient again, just to increase the thickness of the paint. And yeah, you know, this one gradient usually doesn't do the work for the whole of the process for me. Kitty, please don't. And I'm sometimes redoing the gradient or changing the thickness or the proportions over there. I actually don't know what too much or too little amount of water is too much or too little for you, because you know we have different standards as painters, because we have differing experiences. And as I mentioned before, I don't want to like talk too much about that, but I have a lot of experience with workshops, because I travel and do workshops in different places, and I actually, like, with this experience in mind, I can do a you know, I can explain stuff and of this kind after I will actually meet with you and take your brush and paint with your brush and your paints, and then I will be sure how to actually answer, because I don't know, it just differs from different people. And also, like, my conditions of painting, so I live in Poland and I paint in my Polish way because we have one set, you know, how it's called, like the amount of water in atmosphere, I don't remember, wetness of the air, let's call it like that. We have humidity, yeah, exactly, humidity. Yeah, so we have our Polish humidity in our Polish winter and Polish summer, stuff like that. It actually changes with the time of the year, and it changes for me, and I have to adjust. And actually, it would, like, the conditions of painting are totally different for me and, for example, for a person in Australia, in the US. It may be similar in the, like, similar geographic heights, let's call it like that, but not the same. So I cannot, like, tell for sure. I'm asking because, like you, sometimes I don't rinse, but I almost always regret it since I end up with too thick paint. I guess I probably have less water in paint on my palette. You may, like, I sometimes add a little bit water to this kind of paint. So those are dense acrylic from Abteilung, which are AK interactive brand. So they are dense acrylics, and they are thicker than the usual, for example, like 3rd gen paints. You have them over here. So they may either dry up quicker or they are too thick for painting. So I sometimes may add a little bit of more of water to them, but it really depends. For me, just the water from the dipping is usually enough. You know, and also you as a hey Nalan, usually as a painter you may prefer thinner paints than I paint with. So you know, it's like, this is the you know, personal preferences and experiences and your personal way of painting. Honestly, I think that on the screen, the best thing to observe is, like, my technique of how I put the paints on. and the conditions and stuff like that is like everyone, in my opinion, like we as miniature painters sit in our personal basements and try to look for a contact with other painters and paint in this and that technique or something, stuff like that. But in reality, because we are painting usually alone, we are creating variations of different techniques for ourselves. So every painter's way of painting differs slightly, just because we practice usually alone. So we, even if we are not aware of it, we create our own variations of stuff that is adjusted to just to ourselves and to, for example, our basements, which are unique because everyone has different conditions of painting. You wish you had a basement. I have a basement, and like last week my boyfriend put a 3D printer there, and I'm very happy about that. He printed today Inquisitor Whitemane from World of Warcraft, which I will paint, I hope, next week on my stream. And I had it somewhere here, but I don't know where it went, basically. So the usual. Okay, it's over here. If you are looking for Warhammer, like not Warhammer, World of Warcraft miniatures, Blizzard put free STLs on their website from Warcraft Rumble, so you can check it out if you are into that. Yeah, I get that all relative. I guess what I mean is that I get drier paints after mixing than if I dip my brush in the same paint. Yeah, because I don't know, usually, the paint, the water in your cup is usually as wet as it was before, and the paints actually dry out on their own. So that may also dry up your paints, your painting experience quicker. So was just curious if you are able to get the same mix after mixing as after normal palette dipping. Yeah, I think that I get it, but I'm used to paints on more like this drier end. I've joked if I taught a class in mini painting, it would be on how to personalize your art, and I joked that I would start the class saying, by being here you already failed, don't copy anyone else, paint your own way. On the one hand, yes, but on the other, like, I can give you a good example. So I did a class in Australia, and my student had very big trouble with blending and stuff like that, and like he was asking me stuff. I was trying to answer in a constructive way, but honestly I had very big trouble with coming up with the solutions after some time, and I didn't understand why his painting is looking like that. So basically he couldn't paint that much detail, stuff like that, and I like the answer came to me after I actually gave him feedback one-on-one, and I usually do it during workshops, but I usually do the feedback with my I did. Thank you for the follow. I did feedback with my own brushes, and at that point I forgot to take my brush, and I just took his brush and I started painting with his brush on his miniature to show him, how you should do the detailing. And actually I couldn't do the detail because I found out that he was painting with I think Raphael brushes, but it was a Kolinsky line, but not 8404. It was some kind of not as how to call it, like it was more bendy, and so it didn't hold that much strength when you try to do the dot, for example, and the bristle was just not staying in like one clump. It didn't have like this, it wasn't that pointy, and it was harder to do a thin line with it. And you know, the answer was, okay, your brush is not the one you should be painting with, but I didn't even think about it because I knew that he's painting with Raphael. I didn't I just forgot to like or I didn't just think to change to check the line of his brushes. So right now when I'm trying to do the feedback, I sometimes randomly take the brush from my student to, you know, paint on his miniature, just to check if everything you know, is up to standards for my taste, let's call it like that. And I actually, when I teach my classes, I embrace the uniqueness of every painter. Like, for example, most of I make or I do blending on my workshops, but I always tell people that if you really don't want to blend, you don't have to. Like, not blend, but sketch. If you really don't want to sketch, you don't have to. You can try it out because you have like the good opportunity to try it out. And usually people decide to try sketching, even though they usually don't sketch in their personal painting space, and they are usually pretty happy with the practice options, and they are usually happy that they in general tried. And I don't know, meeting with people and exchanging experiences may be beneficial for everyone from different reasons, actually. So, you know, be individual, but we don't have to be very individual always. And I also think that the individual painting is more about what you have in your head and what you want to paint and what you want to represent with your painting. So, for example, if you like pink, paint with a lot of pink, right? And it's not that much about techniques and stuff like that. Great move from Bliss. Would love to see it with proper WoW models. I don't think that we will see proper WoW models, but it's good anyway, as it is already. At least in my opinion. Wow. Yeah, I know it's far from the truth. There is so much you can teach besides the technique of copying a person. Yeah. I am the person that is teaching on my workshops, but actually I learn a lot from my students as well, because like I am on the more creative side of painting, and I think that I'm quite creative with my ideas, but some of my students have like those ideas that I wouldn't ever think about. Thank you for the follow, Virus. And sometimes my students have like this, they have their own creativity and they come up with ideas I wouldn't ever think about, and then I think to myself like, damn, that's nice, I want to do it, and they basically become my inspiration. So it's not like I copy everyone, but sometimes they either inspire me or encourage to try some stuff, or show me that I want to do some stuff I didn't even think about. So yeah, workshops are nice. Nice. Also, I'm sorry if some of my explanations are too long, but I sometimes just don't know how to answer in a shorter way. It's fine, your stream you can talk about what you like, we're to listen. Hope so. Like, you know, if the talk is boring, if the talking is boring, then it's kinda pointless, because I am here to entertain. So if you are not entertained, I am failing. This painting scheme works pretty nicely, because we get this gradient from dark blue / violets into bright yellow / bright green / yellow, and we have opposite colors on the color wheel, so it's attractive to the eye. Are you not entertained? Yeah, are you? I hope that you are entertained. Also about entertaining, like there is no, honestly, there is no, line in between, but you just reminded me. If you have any free Twitch subscriptions, you can throw it on me. Please do. I need more subscribers. You are lurking and being entertained. Thank you for being entertained. Okay, let's try to mix. Oh, I like this mix of those two colors. I will add it on his tongue. Also, there is a YouTuber that pronounces her channel as Chanel, and I need to remember to do it myself. Chanel. Thank you for the subscription to my channel. I promise to paint more Warhammer if you are into that. Isn't my Prime soon, but you get a subscription from me already. Oh, thank you very much. I was actually going to do it anyway, but no time like the present. Thank you guys for supporting me. Honestly, paint what you enjoy, that's always the best content emo. Yeah, like, but I always wanted to paint Warhammer, so I will do it. Loki is playing with my brushes, of course, because why not? This is my, for the Alliance Cup, I got it from my brother and his wife. For Christmas, and I'm so happy with it, you don't even know. You need to find a video for the Discord. Which video? Did we talk about it? You have a video of Artemis pulling a brush out of my brush cup. Oh, please do it! Do it! We need more kitty content. Oh, I know, I can use this pinkish color and put it into his ear. Also on my Patreon I will put more of painting Relic Envoy later, and I will paint this guy Not sure if like the complete process, but maybe just his shield. And I want to paint his shield like it's stained glass. I think that it would be cool. Cities of Sigmar release was so good. Yeah, it was. I really liked it. Like, I know that not everyone likes it, but I liked it and I was very happy with it. I want to buy the Marshal on the horse, like this this very old school, you know, composition of a guy riding the horse. I think that it was very, very cool and I'm happy with it. I just decided that it's overpriced, so I didn't get it right away. But on the other hand, I bought the Bretonia Pegasus Man. So I'm not sure how much time I will have to paint everything, but I want to get this guy on a horse and maybe paint it as a Bretonian man. Ooh, also I decided that I'm starting to collect Bretonia miniatures, and my the logo of my Bretonia army will be Princess Ponyhead from Star vs Forces of Evil. So basically the unicorn I just tattooed on my hand, and you cannot see it because of course my oh, thank you for the ride. Whoop, 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 whoop. I'm talking about my future Bretonia army. It will be with a standard or like the logo of Princess Ponyhead from Star vs Forces of Evil, and this is basically a pony head Pegasus with stars coming out of her severed head. Sorry. Okay, let me just catch up with the right chat. Are the all night feathers available to purchase anywhere? They are not available yet because I'm still waiting for the caster to send the cast to me, and we set a new release date, but I didn't publish it anywhere because I'm so good businesswoman, and they will we want to publish like release them on Valentine's Day, and hopefully we will be able to finally. Yeah, so February 14th, they should be available. If you want to follow the brand, you can find it over here on the IG. If you want to get any updates, basically just let me find the link. It's not working. Why is this not working? Damn it. If you want, okay, I want paste it right now because I cannot find it. Sorry guys. Give me a second. If you want to follow any updates, you may find it on Awesome Miniatures IG. And Loki, please go away. Awesome. I almost got it. Okay, I got it. Loki is spamming me. This little one, rascal. Oh, come over here. Loki, say hello to the raiders. Whoop, 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 whoop. Eee. Give me a second. So yeah, Night Feather unavailable, sorry. It will be available later. Follow Awesome Creations for more. Never believe a pro painter that they'll paint an army. I'm not painting an army. I just said that I will collect Bretonia, and it doesn't mean that I'm painting anything. It means that I will buy a lot of miniatures and I will put them together and put them into my display cabinet. I will paint some of them. This one is one of them. And this one is another one of them. I know that this is Cities of Sigmar, but let's be honest, it's like Bretonia anyway. And so I started. I have at least 2 miniatures with paint on them, and I didn't even started collecting the whole army yet. let Loki in the frame. Loki ran away, he doesn't want to be in the frame, he wants to play with my brushes, optimally destroying them. Those owls are amazing. Oh, I can show you the owl. I actually want to do a tutorial on painting like this kind of gems, so if you are into that, follow my social media. I think that I will release it like sometimes next month. Yeah, to promo my awesome miniatures. Hoo-hoo! Oh, also I have a box art for another miniature. I will be releasing with this one. This one. This is a little bit harder to paint because it has a veil on her face, right? But I will actually release a let's call it like tutorial for free around the release date. So I will explain how to paint this stuff, and the circle, for example, if you want to know how to paint gold, non-metallic metal. I think that I missed 2 questions. I will go back to them in a while. I love the new Cities of Sigmar sculpts. They are beautiful. They are. I just don't like the... I will tell you what exactly I don't like in the new GW miniatures. So, this is the face. It's pretty nicely sculpted, but the sculpt has like those little bumps under the eyes, and it's actually on quite a lot of models, and maybe it's good for like, see, bump over here. It may be good for washing, but it's bad for actual painting because those bumps don't exist on like normal people. Right now you can see like I have those shadows over here, but they are because of like this unconventional lighting, let's call it like that. And also it's I don't have like this bump in this way, is like more indentation, so you can see there's no actual bump on the people unless you are very tired or something like that. And when you want to paint the face in a realistic way, it's awful and I hate it. Yeah, so this is the only like stuff I don't like about those new miniatures, but they are very beautiful in any other angle, let's call it like that. Beauty mouse. If you wanted Britannia, you should have gotten the new Flesh Eater Courts. They are actually pretty cool. Like, I hate stuff like gore, but for example, like the Judge from the latest Flesh Eater Court, like it's like genius, basically. Like I love that his like the intestines are this Judge wig, and it's like next level for me. They are just banging out those cool designs all the way. I'm a big fan. Jamie and I have been talking about painting transparent fabric. You should try it. It's not actually that complicated, and people are apprehensive of it because it sounds complicated, but like I want to explain it on my future like the tutorial. It's basically paint this, for example, skin color, paint the fabric next to it, and just mix those 2 colors together and paint the highlights, like higher elements of the fabric with this mixed color, because the skin that is actually visible from underneath the transparent fabric is touching the fabric. So in the points that are close to touching or are touching the transparent fabric, the skin is more visible. So just add a little bit of skin color to those elements. You can see it over here. And you will get like this effect of transparency. So it's not that complicated, you know. I actually, you can see over here that around this pink in the middle there is a flashy color, and I just put the pink highlights in the middle to make it like more crazy and more, you know, interesting. But if you would just keep a flesh color over there, it would be perfect. Yeah. And also, like, you can see over here that I wanted to show that it's transparent, so I repeated the design of her dress over here is the same as over here. So just, you know, paint wherever should be visible underneath and you will create this effect. Any non-metallic metal workshop in the future? I will have one non-metallic metal workshop for sure in London. I think that in the second half of the year. And one non-metallic metal workshop in Gdańsk, I think, but it will be in Polish probably. Yeah, on my all night, which is over here. We'll paint the metallic stuff. Yeah. That's amazing too. Thank you. Happy that you like it. I didn't make it to the last one and it's killing me. You didn't make to the last non-metallic metal workshop? Which one was it? Like the where it was? Which city? I already forgot. Oh my god, sorry guys. I don't remember where I did the last workshop. I'm very sorry about that. But if you want to come to Poland, there will be some workshops. I have one place. Oh, I know. In Krakow, there will be one non-metallic metal workshop in Krakow, again in Polish. But if you want to come to it, like participate, I have 2 spots available. I didn't announce it, but most of the spots are sold out already. So, you know, if you want, you can just Jesus, sorry guys. I'm running out of the free memory space. Just bump me on Discord. I didn't make it meant for contrast and wash. Yeah, they are meant for it. Tart Boys. I'm honestly really into it. I can't wait to paint my Medusa with transparent clothes. Yeah, please do it. Please try it out. Can I paint Biedronka logo on it? I can, but I don't want to. We both have a bit now, but it's cool to see more and discuss. Yep. Do I like golden high flows? No, I don't. I found out recently that I prefer dense acrylics, so thicker paint. Okay, you can see Loki in the webcam. I prefer dense acrylics, so I started painting with Abteilung paints. And yeah, I said that they are dense acrylic. They are not oil paints. So I personally prefer when the paint is on this denser side, and the goldens are not for me. But I like to sometimes use them to saturate stuff because they are actually high quality paints, and in general I can recommend them, in particular for people who like to not blend but glaze. Yeah, I don't like their shiny finish, for example. Does the color on Fido being contrasting due to being opposite on color wheel that is making it look like there is more value contrast than there is, or am I talking? Yeah, you are right. So basically, when you want to highlight something, don't only think about light and dark, but also think about other contrasts on your miniature. So I talked about it on my previous theory stream. The VOD is on my YouTube channel if anyone is interested. Also, I think that it should be somewhere on the Twitch. So if you want to know more about contrast, check it out. I will just repeat the shorter form over here. When you want to create very strong contrast on your miniature, don't only think about high and low values, so light and dark, but also think about the colors you want to contrast. So the colors you want to highlight. So if you will highlight blue with only white, it will become lighter, and that's it. White won't contrast strongly with blue except for brighter values, because white has no information in it. You don't know where the white is placed on the color wheel, because white is actually every color but very, very bright. So you have no information about the contrasts of the colors. and also you have no information about the contrast of the temperature, because white is either warm and or cold. It has no information beside of the brightness, right? Over here it works very strongly because first of all I'm highlighting with a lighter color, so we have the values, so light and dark. Then another layer of contrast is the temperature, because the green is warm and turquoise / blue is cold. So we are highlighting the cold color with warm color. And then I am highlighting the blue with yellowish tones, and blue and yellow is kinda on more of the opposite side of color wheel, so we have stronger color or chroma contrast. So layering. Being aware of the different kinds of contrast you can achieve and picking, mix and matching them basically. If you want something to be very striking and very strongly contrasted, then layer those contrasts as many as you can, basically. If you want something to be more harmonious and less striking, then pick something less contrasted. And also for blending, you can see that I'm working more on like those dots. But if you would, in reality, every dot is 1/2 of this contrast of this blending gradient, right? So for example, over here, this dot mixed with this violet is part of this area over here. And this area over here is part of this area over here. So sometimes I use this gradient way of blending or sketching, but I am not creating like this nice line of gradient on my wet palette. I'm just doing the dots of it all around. Okay, and I think that I missed 2 questions before. Do the colors being contrasting due to being opposite on the color wheel that is making it look like there is more? Yeah, I answered it. Oh, you repeated it. Okay, cool. Nice, thank you. Lots of cool horse minis in 2023. Yes, it was actually. And there also was this release for example, from Chimera. I think that it was limited release, but I'm not sure if it was last year or the year, 1 year back more, let's call it like that. The elf on like this lion mount, it was pretty cool as well. And I think that Warhammer actually got pretty, quite a lot of cool mounted miniatures. I think that Warhammer really embraced the creativity and doing some fun stuff. In general, I'm not a big fan of Games Workshop, but I have to admit that they released some very cool miniatures recently, and in general, from year to year, they are doing better and better job with their sculpts and bringing some interesting stuff on the market. And I'm pretty happy about that because they are this foreground for the miniature painting. So in my opinion, it's good when they are introducing creative ideas and not just leaving the creativity for the smaller companies. yeah, it's midnight. I think that I will be finishing for today, and I will paint more of this guy off stream, and I will try off stream. Yeah, off stream, and I will try to finish him. My next stream will be on. Let me just put him over here. My next stream will be on Thursday. Tuesday is today, Thursday, yeah. And I think that I will paint some more Warhammer, I'm not sure yet, but something different than this one. I have, for example, like this guy over here, and I want to start painting him. So maybe him, I'm not sure. And the next week on Tuesday, I want to do a feedback stream. And the feedback stream, for people who don't know, is all about me giving a feedback to your works. So if you want to have your work feedbacked, here you have in the chat the invitation to my Discord channel, and just take a picture of your miniature, post it on the feedback channel on my Discord, on my Discord, and write a short description of what you are aiming for, if it's a work in progress or what you wanted to do, so I would have the information in what direction you are going for, and I will just give a feedback in Photoshop on your miniature. And if you will miss the stream, I will upload the VOD later on the YouTube, so you can catch it up and replay it for yourself. Cool, I hopefully catch you on Tuesday stream. It's been fun and educational watching you tonight. Happy to hear that, yeah. And I'm not sure from what time zone you are, but I want to start streaming in like earlier hours for Poland. So right now in Poland it's midnight. I usually start streaming on 9 to 10, more closer to the half past 9 p.m. CET. So later in the Europe, but I want to start streaming earlier in Europe, so maybe it will be more convenient for different time zones. I want to start streaming. I want to start streaming Warhammer in the earlier hours of the day. So I just hope that you will enjoy this kind of content. Let me find someone to rate. Tavern Keeper Miniatures? Yeah, I like it. So we will write him, I think. Just need to copy the username. Give me a second. Okay. Thank you for the stream. Had fun, much entertained. I'm happy that you are entertained. Yeah, I'm in the UK, so only an hour behind. Sometimes an hour, sometimes not, because Poland is jumping the time zones. Yeah, so I'm doing the right. And see you next time. If you want to have like any more information about the stream, go to my Discord channel. I have the streaming calendar put on my Twitch. I will try to be faithful to it as I can, and you may find me like on the Twitch from time to time during the weekend as well. Come to Discord, post your pets, post your pictures of your painting, post wherever. Yeah, see you next time. Thank you for coming, and bye. I will maybe show Loki one time again. Loki! Bye.